Welcome to NFL Nexus. You know, if you're a fan of the Indianapolis Colts, you've got to be feeling two things right now. On one hand, you're probably bursting with pride, right? Your team is clearly building something special, something that has the entire league turning its head. But on the other hand, there's that anxiety. It feels like every other team in the NFL has a line out the door, just waiting to try and poach your best coaches. Well, today we're going to break it all down. We're doing a deep dive into why, all of a sudden, the Indianapolis Colts have become the NFL's hottest coaching factory. We're going to look at who's getting the calls, why they're getting them, and what it all means for the future of the franchise. So if you're ready to get into the weeds on this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's jump right in.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Why this team? Why now? Because let's be real, what's happening here is way more than just a coincidence. This isn't one or two guys getting a courtesy interview for a promotion. No, this feels like an all-out raid. I mean, from the lower-level position assistants all the way up to the top coordinators, the league has put this massive spotlight on the talent being developed inside that Colts building. So what is it? What's going on in their program that's making GMs and owners all across the NFL pick up the phone? This isn't a fluke, you guys. It's a pattern, and we're going to unpack exactly what that pattern tells us about the health of this franchise, its leadership, and where it's headed.
And that really is what this all boils down to. The Colts have officially become what people in league circles call a coaching hotbed. Now, this isn't just about having one superstar head coach with a famous coaching tree. This is something different, something deeper. It's about creating an entire ecosystem, a system where coaching talent is actively sought out, carefully mentored, and really developed from the ground up. The price of that success, though, is that eventually you become a victim of it. When your coaches are doing their jobs so well that you see tangible, amazing results on the field, the other 31 teams are going to notice. They see that winning culture, they see a smart, repeatable process, and they say, I want a piece of that.
Okay, so where's the evidence, right? Where's the first real sign of this trend? Well, for that we have to go to Mobile, Alabama, which is the home of the Reese's Senior Bowl. Now, for those of you who don't follow the draft process like a hawk, the Senior Bowl isn't just a showcase for college prospects, it's a huge proving ground for NFL coaches too. Getting an invitation to coach one of these all-star teams is a massive honor. It's basically the league office itself giving you a nod, saying, hey, we see you, we recognize you as a top-tier developer of talent. And this year, the Colts sent not one, not two, but 3 of their assistant coaches to this event. That's a massive signal that their work is not going unnoticed.
So let's start with a name you might not be familiar with yet, but one you absolutely should get to know, Diego Ortiz. He's the team's Offensive Dungy Fellow. Now, that title itself is incredibly important. It's part of a diversity coaching fellowship named for the legendary Hall of Fame Colts coach Tony Dungy, and it's specifically designed to create a pipeline for minority coaches. So it's a role that's steeped in the franchise's history of excellence. Ortiz was specifically tasked with working with the running backs, a group that, under his watch, became the absolute engine of this Colts offense. The work he's done behind the scenes has been critical, to say the least.
So let's talk about the real-world impact a coach like Ortiz can have. Sometimes, a whole season of work, all the meetings, all the drills, it can be summed up in a single number. And for Ortiz, that number is 20. 20. That's the number of total, all-purpose touchdowns, that's rushing and receiving combined, that Jonathan Taylor scored in one season. I mean, think about that. In a league that is completely obsessed with passing, where running backs are often devalued, for one guy to be that dominant is a direct testament to some incredible, focused coaching. This number isn't just about Jonathan Taylor's amazing talent. It's a reflection of a system and a coach who built a plan to maximize every ounce of that talent. And Diego Ortiz was a key architect of that plan.
And let's break that dominance down even more, because these numbers are they're staggering. First, leading the entire NFL with 18 rushing touchdowns. That means no other player in the whole league, not one, found the end zone on the ground more often. That tells you about incredible play calling and efficiency down in the red zone. Second, almost 1,600 rushing yards. That shows you he wasn't just a goal line back. He was a true workhorse, just consistently grinding out yards and wearing defenses down. And then there's this last one, 84 first downs on the ground. You know, this might be the most important stat of them all. It means 84 different times he, by himself, moved the chains, kept the offense on the field, and controlled the clock. This is the kind of elite, top-of-the-league production that gets a coach noticed.
Of course, as we all know, a running back is only as good as the guys blocking for him. So let's turn our attention to Chris Watt, the assistant offensive line coach. Now, while the main O-line coach gets a lot of the public credit, the assistant is the guy who's absolutely crucial for that day-to-day individual technique work and player development. We're talking about the fine details here. Watt, who is a former NFL offensive lineman himself, has been a key part of forging a unit that has become one of the most reliable and, frankly, one of the best in the entire league. The work he does in the trenches is what makes it possible for a guy like Jonathan Taylor to even have a chance at putting up those historic numbers.
And here it is. This is the proof of Watt's impact, right here in black and white. These are the Pro Football Focus grades for the Colts O-line. A pass blocking grade that was ranked second best in the entire league. That means your quarterback had time, he was kept clean. Then you have a run blocking grade in the top 10, which, as we've seen, opened up massive holes. But here's the part that's truly incredible, the part that makes other GMs sit up and take notice. They achieved this elite level of play while getting hit with a ton of key injuries all season long. That shows you Watt's ability to develop depth, to coach up the backups, the 6th, 7th, 8th guys on the depth chart, and make sure every single player is ready to perform. That right there is the hallmark of truly great coaching.
So the third coach, who is representing the Colts down in Mobile, is a name that, oh man, longtime fans will know this one immediately. Cato June. He's the assistant linebackers coach, but he's so much more than that. He's a Colts legend. He was a star Pro Bowl linebacker for the team during their glory days in the mid-2000s, a cornerstone of that Super Bowl team. So for him, this isn't just another coaching gig, it's a true homecoming. And he brings a unique perspective, a level of institutional knowledge that really no other coach on that staff can match.
So what is it that makes Cato Jones such a hot coaching commodity? Well, it all comes down to one word: pedigree. Think about it. When he stands up in that linebackers meeting room, he's not just some coach drawing X's and O's. He's a former Pro Bowler who did exactly what they're trying to do in their exact position, wearing their exact jersey. He's lived the physical and mental battles of the game at the highest possible level. Can you imagine him telling a young linebacker a story about how he read Tom Brady's eyes in an AFC championship game? That kind of firsthand experience is priceless. It gives him instant, unshakable credibility. And it's exactly why he's considered one of the real rising stars in the coaching world today.
Okay, so having your assistants get recognized at the Senior Bowl, that's one thing. It's a fantastic sign for the overall health of your organization. But the interest in the Colts coaching staff goes much, much higher than that. We need to zoom out now and talk about the biggest story of them all, the league-wide pursuit of their defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, for head coaching jobs. This is the thing that truly elevates the Colts from just a team with good assistants into that full-blown coaching factory status. When other teams are trying to poach your coordinators for the top job, that's when you know you are doing something profoundly right.
And then this drops. This is a tweet straight from one of the most respected insiders in the entire industry, Mike Garafolo of NFL Network. And this isn't a rumor, it's not speculation. This is a formal request from the Buffalo Bills to interview Lou Anarumo for their head coaching job. I mean, when a report like this hits, it sends shockwaves through fan bases. This is that moment where it becomes real, where it's confirmed that other franchises see Anarumo not just as a great coordinator, but as a potential leader for their entire organization.
And here's the thing, Buffalo wasn't the only team interested. Just look at this interview tour. First, you have your division rival, the Tennessee Titans, who want to steal your defensive genius and then use all his knowledge against you twice a year. Then you have the New York Giants, a huge market team where he used to coach, which shows you his reputation is rock solid across the league. And finally, the Buffalo Bills, a perennial contender. Look, getting one head coaching interview is a massive accomplishment. Getting 3 in a single hiring cycle, that is exceptional. It tells you his name is red hot in those front office circles, and that multiple, very different organizations all came to the same conclusion. This is a guy who can lead a franchise.
Okay, so why all the hype? To be perfectly honest, if you just glance at the raw numbers from his first year as the Colts DC, you might think they look like a mixed bag. The pass defense, let's face it, clearly struggled, ranking near the bottom of the league. But GMs and owners, they look deeper than the surface-level stats. They see that number 1 stat right there, 7th in the entire NFL against the run. That is elite, and that is what has front offices so excited. They see a coach who can walk in the door and immediately establish a tough, physical identity and fix a foundational part of a defense. They're willing to bet that he can do for a pass defense what he already proved he could do for a run defense. That kind of tangible, immediate impact is what gets you on that interview tour.
So all of this recognition for Ortiz, Watt, June, and especially for Anarumo. It feels great, right? It's validation for the whole organization, from the owner all the way down. But it's also a classic double-edged sword. This is the part that brings on that fan anxiety. The high cost of being great at identifying and developing coaches is the constant nagging threat that you're going to lose them. It's a simple truth. The better they are at their jobs, the more likely it is they're going to leave.
And this slide right here lays out the dilemma perfectly, especially when you're talking about a key guy like Lou Anarumo. If you can somehow manage to keep him, you get the absolute golden ticket in professional sports: continuity.
The players already know the scheme, the terminology, the expectations. It lets your young players stop thinking and just play fast. You can build on that foundation. But if you lose him to a head coaching job, you're forced into a total and often really painful recalibration. A new coordinator comes in with a new system, new language, new techniques. It can completely disrupt the chemistry and stunt the growth of your young defensive core, basically forcing you to hit the reset button. The stakes are absolutely massive.
So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this paradox. The very thing that defines your success as an organization, your incredible ability to find and develop great coaches, is the exact same thing that creates your biggest instability. It's a catch-22. You want your coaches to be so good that other teams are knocking down your door because it proves you're doing things right. But at the same time, you desperately want them to stay. In the hyper-competitive world of the NFL, you just can't have it both ways. Success breeds opportunity, and that's not just for players, but for the brilliant minds on the sidelines too.
And that really leaves us with this final, thought-provoking question. What is the true measure of success for an NFL franchise? Is it hoarding your talent and trying to keep the same staff together for a decade? Or is it building a culture that's so strong, so effective, that it becomes a pipeline that churns out head coaches and top coordinators for the rest of the league? I really want to know what you think, so drop a comment down below. Is being a coaching factory a blessing or a curse for the Colts? Thanks so much for watching this deep dive on NFL Nexus. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to subscribe for more content just like this. And hey, if you're looking for a really great way to support the channel, check out our custom coloring books. They are perfect for kids, grandkids, and honestly, even for adults. You can find the link right in the description or just scan the QR code on your screen now. We'll see you next time.